Speak English Clearly, Your Daily Practice Guide. Introduction. Imagine walking into a room and speaking English so well that people understand you easily. Your voice sounds clear and smooth, and you feel sure of yourself. Think about how good it feels to connect with others, the new chances that appear, and the freedom to share your thoughts without holding back. This is not a dream for only a few special people. It's something anyone can reach if they try, and this book will show you how. But for many, speaking English well feels hard. You might know many English words and understand what people say. But when it's your turn to speak, your mind becomes empty or your words get mixed up. You might worry about how you sound or if people will understand you. This can make you shy, miss out on chances to talk, and feel a little sad that your voice isn't heard as well as you want. It's common to find it hard to speak even when you understand. This can be very upsetting. What if the secret to speaking your clearest, most confident English wasn't about learning lots of grammar rules or long lists of words? What if it was something much easier, but very strong? It's about practicing every day with focus. This book is based on a simple truth. Practicing regularly and with care, in the right way, is the best path for everyone to speak clear, smooth, and confident English. We don't mean just practicing any old way. We mean a special, tested method that will guide you. This is where the daily speaking practice technique comes in. It's the most important part of this guide, a way to change your spoken English from shaky to smooth. Think of it like learning to play music or a sport. You wouldn't just hit random notes or run without a plan. You would follow a clear program. The daily speaking practice technique is that program for your voice. You might have heard of easy readers for books that help you read better. This technique does something similar for speaking. It breaks down speaking into small, easy steps you can handle. This way, you are always challenged just enough to get better, but never feel too much. This technique works by making your mouth muscles stronger, helping you listen better, and using your brain and mouth together. It helps you get used to speaking fluently. It trains your ears to hear and make English sounds better. And most importantly, it makes you feel more confident with every practice session you do well. By practicing each day, you build strong links in your brain and mouth. This makes it easier and more natural for you to make English sounds and sentences. This book is for you if you are just starting to learn English, have studied for a long time, but still feel unsure, or are already good at speaking and want to sound even better. You don't have to be a natural at languages. You don't need hours every day. All you need is to be willing to use this simple, useful technique. As you use this guide, you will build a habit of practicing speaking every day. You will speak more clearly and make fewer mistakes. You will feel more sure of yourself and speak more easily. You will notice that your English sounds clearer and flows better. This is a practical guide that you will use. You won't just read about speaking, you will practice and make your skills much better. The path to speaking English clearly and confidently starts now. Are you ready to take the first step? In the next chapters, we will look closely at the daily speaking practice technique and give you the tools and exercises to make it your own. Let's start! 1. Learn to speak English better. Have you ever felt that feeling of being stuck? You know the words. You understand what people say. But when you want to speak, the English doesn't come out right. It might sound shaky, not very clear, and you lose confidence. It's like having a nice song in your head but only being able to hum it badly. Many people feel this way, and I have too. For a long time, I thought speaking English well was a secret trick only some people knew. I studied the rules of grammar and learned many words. But when I tried to talk to someone, it felt like walking through thick mud. What does it really mean to speak English better? It's more than just saying the correct words. It means your voice sounds clear and easy to understand. It means your sentences flow nicely, like a calm river, not like rough water. It means you feel relaxed and sure of yourself when you speak, knowing you can share your thoughts and feelings easily. It means people understand you better and you feel more connected to them. Your English should sound natural, not like you are reading from a paper. This is not about changing who you are. It is about letting the real you show, even when you speak another language. It is about making sure people hear, understand, and respect what you say. When many of us first learn English, we focus a lot on grammar rules and words. We write down many verb changes and try to learn hundreds of new words each week. And yes, this is important. It gives you the basic parts you need. But think about learning to ride a bike. You can read all the books about how bikes work, how to keep your balance, and how to move your feet. You can even learn the names of all the bike parts. But until you actually get on the bike and try to ride, you won't really know how to ride. You will wobble, you might fall, but each time you try, you get a little better. Your body learns what to do, your brain figures out how to balance, and soon, you can ride easily. Speaking English is just like that. It is a skill. It is something your mouth, your tongue, your breath, and your brain need to practice together. It's not just knowing the right answers. It's about being able to make the right sounds, connect them smoothly, and form complete thoughts without your mind stopping. Feeling frustrated because you know a lot, but can't show it is a real problem. It can make you feel sad, and sometimes, it makes you want to stop speaking altogether. You might start nodding a lot, saying yes, yes, or using very simple sentences, even when you have bigger ideas. This does not mean you can't learn. It means your speaking muscles and your speaking mind need special practice. This is where the idea of the graded reader technique for speaking comes in. You might have heard of graded readers for books. These are special books made for people learning a language. They start with very simple words and sentences. As you read more, they slowly add harder words and more complex sentences. This helps you build your reading skills step by step, feeling good at each level. You don't go from very easy stories straight to very difficult ones. We can use this same smart idea for speaking. Instead of trying to have difficult talks right away, we start with the very basics. We focus on making individual sounds clearly. Then, we practice putting those sounds together into simple words. After that, we move to short, simple sentences. We build up slowly and steadily, like building a strong house one brick at a time. Each small success makes you feel more confident. Each clear sound you make helps you with the next step. This is the main part of the daily speaking practice technique. It is a planned and regular way to get better at speaking English. It means practicing speaking exercises every day. These exercises help your mouth and mind make clearer, smoother, and more confident English sounds in speech. It is a way to fix common learning problems and make the process easier and more effective. Why is this way of learning better for speaking than just learning grammar by heart? Grammar practice often focuses on writing or understanding, not on the physical act of making sounds. Learning words by heart is useful, but it doesn't teach you how to connect those words naturally in a flowing sentence. The graded reader technique for speaking, however, directly trains your mouth muscles and your brain's ability to remember and use language right away. It focuses on how your speech flows and how clear it is. These are the most important things for people to understand you and for you to feel confident. It's about building habits in your mouth and mind that make speaking English feel natural, not forced. The good things about speaking English better go beyond just being able to order food or ask for directions. When your English is clear and you feel confident, many new chances open up. Think about your job. Many jobs need good communication skills. Being able to speak English clearly can help you get a better job, get a promotion, or even work for companies in other countries. In social situations, Clear English helps you make new friends, share your stories, and feel truly connected to people from different places. It means fewer misunderstandings that can be embarrassing. Imagine telling a funny story and having everyone laugh with you, instead of looking confused. On the other hand, the bad things about not being able to speak English clearly can be serious. You might miss out on job chances because you don't feel confident in interviews. You might feel alone in social groups even if many people are around. Important information can be misunderstood, leading to mistakes or frustration. It can make you feel less sure of yourself. You might start to think that you are not smart enough or that learning English is just too hard for you. But this is not true. It just means you may not have found the right way to practice yet. The struggle you feel is not about how smart you are. It is a sign that your current learning method is not fully helping with the special challenges of spoken language. I remember a student, let's call her Maria. Maria was very smart. She understood many subjects well and could write great essays in English. But when she spoke, her sentences were short and she often stops to find words. She told me she felt like a child trying to explain adult ideas. She was very afraid of making mistakes, so she often stayed quiet. She loved reading books, but the thought of talking about them in English made her feel very worried. She had tried many things, talking in classes, practicing with people who were learning English too, but nothing seemed to make her speaking flow better for a long time. She felt stuck. Then, Maria found the daily speaking practice technique. She started small. She focused on saying individual English sounds correctly, like the TH sound, which was hard for her. She practiced saying simple words that used these sounds. Then she moved to very short, easy sentences, like I like apples or the sun is bright. She repeated them, trying to make them sound smooth and clear. She didn't worry about grammar at first. She just focused on the sound and the flow. Every day, for just 15-20 minutes, she practiced. Slowly, something wonderful happened. Maria started to feel more comfortable. The sounds felt more natural. The sentences began to flow more easily. She found herself pausing less. She started to try slightly longer sentences. One day, during a class talk, she surprised herself by speaking for a full minute about a book. Her voice was clear and her ideas flowed. The teacher and other students listened closely. Afterwards, Maria felt a rush of happiness and confidence she had never felt before. She realized that by breaking down the hard skill of speaking into small, easy steps and practicing them every day, she was truly learning to speak English better. It wasn't about sudden talent. It was about steady, smart practice. This journey of learning to speak English better is not about changing who you are. It is about giving yourself a strong tool to show the wonderful person you already are. It is about building connections and understanding. And the best way to build these connections is through the daily speaking practice technique. This method understands that speaking is a skill and guides you step by step to speak clearly and with confidence. It's about changing that frustration into smooth speaking, one clear sound, one smooth sentence at a time. Now that we understand why learning to speak English better is so important and have a look at a new way to do it, the next important step is to understand the exact steps of this powerful graded reader technique for speaking. We will explain exactly how it works, starting with the basic parts that will build your speaking foundation, one clear sound at a time. 2. Practice speaking every day. Think about learning to play music, like a guitar or a piano. If you only play for 1 hour one time a week, you might learn a few notes, but you will likely forget them before you play again. Your fingers won't get used to the strings, and the music won't sound good. It's like trying to build a strong house with only a few bricks put down once in a while. Now, imagine practicing just a little bit every single day. Maybe 10 minutes at first, then 20. Your fingers start to remember where to go. The notes feel easy. You can play a song without thinking too hard. This is the special part of practicing every day. It's the same for speaking English. The daily speaking practice technique is based on this easy, strong idea. Practice speaking every day. Why is practicing every day so important? Let's look at it. First, it makes a habit. Our brains and bodies like habits. When you do something many times, it becomes something you do without thinking. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't really have to think about it, right? You just do it. Your mouth muscles know what to do. When you practice speaking English every day, even for a short time, you are teaching your mouth muscles to make those English sounds. You are teaching your brain to find the right words and put them together easily. This makes speaking feel less like hard work and more like something you do naturally. It's like your tongue and lips are learning a new dance, and they need to practice the steps every day to get good at it. Second, practicing every day leads to small steps adding up. This means that small efforts over time make big changes. If you practice for 15 minutes every day, that's 1.5 minutes in a week. That's more than an hour and a half of practice. If you only practiced for 1 hour one time a week, you would be practicing much less. It's like saving money. Putting a little bit aside each day might not seem like much, but after a year, you will have a surprising amount saved. The same is true for your English speaking. Each day you practice, you get a little bit better. You learn a new sound, you make a word better, you speak a sentence a little more smoothly. These small improvements build on each other, day after day, week after week. Practicing only sometimes, like a long session once a week, can be tiring. You might feel like there's too much to do, and it's easy to stop wanting to practice. But when you practice a little bit each day, it feels easy to do. You can do it even on a busy day. This keeps you moving forward. You don't feel like you are starting from nothing every time you sit down to practice. This daily habit also helps you stop being afraid and slow to speak. Many people feel shy or worried when they speak English. They worry about making mistakes. But when you practice speaking every day, you become more comfortable. You see that mistakes are just a part of learning. You start to feel more sure of yourself because you are practicing more. It's like learning to swim. At first, the water might feel scary, but the more you get in and practice, the more relaxed you become. You learn to trust yourself. Daily speaking practice helps you trust that you can say what you want in English. It makes you focus on what you want to say, not just how you were saying it. It's important to remember that daily practice and the daily speaking practice technique isn't just about talking without a plan. It's about practice with a purpose. This means you are not just chatting. You are actively working on specific things. You might be practicing new sounds, working on the way your sentences sound, or trying to speak more clearly. The technique guides you so that your daily practice is always working towards your goal of speaking English clearly and smoothly. The way you practice is just as important as doing it every day. It's like a cook practicing a recipe. They might cook it every day, but they are also focusing on making each step perfect, from cutting the vegetables to adding the spices. One of the best things about the daily speaking practice technique is that anyone can do it. You don't need a lot of free time. You don't need a special place to learn. You can practice for just 10 or 15 minutes each day. You can do it when you travel to work, during your lunch break, or before you go to sleep. This makes speaking English fluently something you can achieve, no matter how busy you are or where you live. It removes the things that often stop people from learning. It shows that you don't need hours and hours of study to get better. Steady, focused effort is the key. Let me tell you about Maria. Maria came to a new country and wanted to work in a shop. She knew some English, but when customers spoke to her, she couldn't think of what to say. Her words came out slowly, and she often felt ashamed. She tried going to classes at night, but it was hard to find time, and she felt like she wasn't getting much better. Then she heard about the daily speaking practice technique. She decided to try it. Every morning, before work, she would practice for just 15 minutes. She'd read a short English story out loud, focusing on saying each word clearly. Then she'd try to say a few sentences again, trying to sound like the way she heard them. At first, it felt strange. Her tongue felt awkward, but she kept going. Every day. After a few weeks, she noticed a change. She wasn't so afraid to speak. When a customer asked her a question, the words came out more easily. She still made mistakes sometimes, but she didn't let them stop her. She could understand more and she could explain things better. She felt more confident. Soon, she was enjoying talking to customers and feeling proud of her English. Her daily 15 minutes of practice had made a big difference. So, why is practicing for just a little bit every single day so much better than, for example, practicing for a whole hour one time a week? It all comes down to how our brains learn new things, especially physical actions like speaking. When you speak, you use many muscles in your mouth, tongue, and throat. These muscles need to be trained to make specific sounds and movements for English. Daily practice is like giving those muscles a regular workout. They get stronger and more flexible. If you only work them out once a week, they don't get enough regular training. They might feel stiff and unwilling to move the next time you try to use them. In your mind, practicing daily makes what you learn stay with you. When you hear a new sound or practice a new way to say something, your brain makes a connection. If you look at that connection again soon after, the memory becomes stronger. If you wait a whole week, that connection might disappear. It's like trying to remember a phone number. If you look at it and then use it right away, you'll remember it. If you look at it, then wait a week, you'll probably have to look it up again. Daily practice keeps the information fresh in your mind, making it easier to remember and use when you need it. What happens if you don't practice daily, even if you are learning the daily speaking practice technique? The biggest problem is losing your progress. You might feel like you are taking one step forward and two steps back. You learn something great one day, but by the next week, it feels like you've forgotten it. This can be very disappointing. It can make you feel frustrated and like you are not getting better, even if you are learning the right things. The daily speaking practice technique works best because it's daily. Missing a day here and there can slow down your progress a lot. It's like trying to climb a mountain. You can make good progress with steady steps each day. But if you stop for a few days, you lose your rhythm, and it becomes harder to start climbing again. The mountain seems bigger and the path might feel steeper. The danger of practicing only sometimes is that it can also make you more scared to speak. If you are not used to speaking English regularly, the times when you do speak might feel stressful. You might feel like you have to get it right because you don't have many chances to practice. This stress can make your mind go blank or make you speak even more slowly. The daily speaking practice technique, by making speaking a normal, everyday activity, removes that stress. It makes speaking feel natural and less scary. Imagine a gardener who only waters their plants once a month. The plants would likely become dry and die. They need water regularly to grow and be healthy. Your English speaking skills are the same. They need regular attention, a little bit of care every day, to grow strong and healthy. The daily speaking practice technique provides this regular care. It makes sure that your efforts are always building on each other, leading to real, lasting improvement. So remember, the most important part of this book and the key to finding your clear and confident English voice is this simple promise: practice speaking every day. It's not about long, tiring sessions. It's about steady, focused effort. It's about building a habit that will help you speak fluently. Just as a musician practices scales every day to become perfect, your daily speaking practice is the most important base for clear and confident English. But what exactly should you be practicing? In the next part, we will look at the main ideas of the graded reader technique for speaking, showing you exactly how to make your daily practice sessions very effective. 3. Special techniques for improvement. Sometimes, just talking more doesn't make your English sound very clear and easy to understand. It's like wanting to get better at a game by only playing it. You need to practice special moves, right? Learning to speak English clearly is the same. You need special ways to practice. These ways help you focus on the parts of your speaking that need the most work. They make your daily practice much stronger. Think about it. You know that practicing every day is very important. That's our main idea, our daily speaking practice technique. It means you do something for your speaking skills every single day. But what if that daily practice could be even better? What if you could add a few smart tricks to make your mouth and your mind work together even better? That's what we're going to talk about now, special techniques that can help you improve faster and feel more sure of yourself. One of the best ways to learn how to sound like someone who speaks English all the time is through something called shadowing. It sounds a little strange, but it's quite simple. You listen to someone speaking English, maybe from a movie, a podcast, or a book that's read aloud, and then you try to say what they say at the same time or just a moment after them. You become like their shadow. Why is this so great? When you shadow, you're not just hearing the words, you're trying to copy everything. You're copying how fast they speak, the changes in their voice that's called intonation, the small stops, and how they make each sound. Your ears are working hard, and your mouth is working hard. It's like giving your speaking muscles a very specific workout. You're training yourself to feel the rhythm and sound of English, not just understand it. Imagine you're listening to a friendly news reporter. They speak clearly at a nice, steady speed. You play a short sentence. Then, you immediately say that same sentence, trying to make your voice sound just like theirs. You might not do it perfectly the first time, and that's okay. The main thing is to try. You can even record yourself doing it. Then, you listen to the speaker and then listen to your own recording. You'll start to hear the differences. Maybe they put more energy into the last word of a sentence and you didn't. Maybe they made a certain vowel sound a little longer and yours was too short. Comparing yourself like this is very useful. It tells you exactly what to focus on next time. This shadowing technique is a wonderful way to improve how you flow when you speak. When you try to match someone else's rhythm, you naturally start to speak with fewer awkward stops. It helps you connect words together smoothly, just like people who speak English all the time do. It's a direct way to train your brain and your mouth to speak English with a more natural speed and a better sound. And because you can do it with almost anything you listen to, it fits perfectly into your daily speaking practice technique. You can shadow for just 1 minute while you're waiting for your coffee, or during your trip to work. Now, sometimes the problem isn't just the flow, it's specific sounds. English has some sounds that can be hard for people who speak other languages. Think about the TH sound. In many languages, there isn't a sound like that. So, when English speakers say words like think, this, or brother, learners might say sink, dis, or broder. These small changes can make it harder for people to understand you. We don't need to become experts and learn all the complicated names for sounds, but we can learn to make a few key sounds correctly. Let's take the TH sound. There are 2 types, a soft one, like in thin, and a voiced one, like in this. For the soft TH, you gently put your tongue tip between your front teeth and blow air out. Not too hard, just a gentle puff. Try saying 3, thanks, thought. For the voice th, you do the same thing with your tongue, but this time, you make a sound with your voice, like a gentle hum. Try saying they, them, weather. Practicing these sounds for just a few minutes each day can make a big difference. You can pick 1 or 2 difficult sounds and create little practice exercises. For example, make a list of words with that sound. Say each word slowly, focusing on making the sound correctly. Then say them a little faster. You can also practice them in short sentences. This is another way to make your daily speaking practice technique very effective. Instead of just reading a sentence, you can pause for a moment and focus on making a difficult sound perfectly within that sentence. Another very important part of speaking English clearly is its rhythm and stress. English isn't spoken like a machine, where every part of a word gets the same importance. Some words in a sentence are more important than others. We give these important words more energy, a slightly louder voice, and sometimes make them last a little longer. This is called stress. And the way these stressed and unstressed words fit together creates the music, or rhythm, of English. When you don't get the stress and rhythm right, your English can sound flat or it can be hard to follow. Imagine someone saying, "I want to go to the store." You can hear the important words clearly. Now imagine someone saying, "I want to go to the store," with the same importance on every word. It sounds less natural and the meaning might not come across as strongly. How can you practice this? One simple way is to make it bigger. When you read a sentence, try to really emphasize the words that seem most important. You can even clap or tap your hand on the stressed word. For example, in the sentence "she lives in London," you could tap your hand when you say "lives in London." Do this with different sentences. You'll start to feel where the natural emphasis goes. You can also practice with short rhythmic phrases. Think of common sayings or even just lists of words. Say them with a strong beat. This trains your ear and your mouth to feel the natural pulse of the language. Listening to people who speak English all the time and trying to copy their rhythm, just like in shadowing, is also very helpful here. Pay attention to how they make certain words stand out. This brings us back to the idea of the graded reader technique, but for speaking. You know how graded readers for reading start with very simple stories and gradually get more difficult. We can do the same for speaking. The daily speaking practice technique should build on itself. This means starting with what you can manage and slowly building up. If you're just starting, your graded reader for speaking might be repeating single words with clear pronunciation. Then you move to short, simple sentences. Make sure you can say those sentences clearly and smoothly before you try longer, more complicated ones. For example, if you're practicing the th sound, your first step might be saying the word 3 clearly. Once you're comfortable with that, you move to a simple sentence like, "I have 3 apples." Then maybe a slightly more complicated sentence like, "She thought about the 3 friends." Each step is a small success, and you build confidence as you master each level. This way, you're always practicing at a level that challenges you just enough to improve, but not so much that you feel overwhelmed. So, when you're doing your daily speaking practice technique, you can ask yourself, what is the simplest, most practical way I can use these special techniques today? If you want to improve how you flow, try shadowing for just 1 minute of a podcast. If you want to work on a specific sound, spend 5 minutes saying words with that sound. If you want to practice rhythm, read a short paragraph and emphasize the key words. These techniques aren't magic tricks. They are tools. They are ways to make your daily effort more focused and more effective. They help you go beyond just speaking more and start speaking better. You're not just making noise, you're shaping your voice, improving your sounds, and building a natural rhythm. By actively using these special techniques in your daily practice, you're not just speaking more, you're speaking smarter. You're building the muscle memory and listening skills needed for truly clear and confident English. In the next section, we'll look at how to fit these powerful techniques smoothly into your daily routine, making sure that your daily practice is a constant way to get better. 4. Build confidence in speaking. It's a quiet fear, isn't it? The one that whispers doubts just as you're about to open your mouth to speak English. It tells you your words might come out wrong, that people won't understand, or worse, that they'll notice every little mistake. This fear can feel like a heavy blanket, making even easy talks feel like climbing a big hill. But here's a truth I've seen many times. Feeling sure about speaking English isn't a gift you're born with. It's something you build, little by little, with your own hard work. And the best way to build it is by practicing often and with focus. Think about it. Have you ever felt a big rush of confidence after doing something hard? Maybe it was learning to ride a bike or solving a tough puzzle. That feeling comes from doing, from succeeding, from showing yourself that you can. The same is true for speaking English. Your daily speaking practice technique, especially when you use the graded reader approach, is made to give you those moments of success again and again. Each time you read a sentence out loud, focusing on making each sound clear and each word flow smoothly, you are winning a small victory. These small wins are the base for real, lasting confidence. Let's talk about that fear. It's totally normal. Many learners feel it. You might worry about sounding silly, or that your accent is too strong, or that you'll freeze and forget what you want to say. These fears are like little blocks in the road. They make you wait. They make you want to stay quiet. But what if practice could be the tool that moves these blocks one by one? The graded reader technique is perfect for this because it's gentle. You're not asked to give a speech to a crowd without warning. You're just taking words you've already read and understood and giving them a voice. You control how fast you go. You can say a word or a phrase as many times as you need until it feels right. This safe space is exactly what you need to start breaking down that fear. It's like learning to swim in a shallow pool before jumping into the deep ocean. The graded reader technique works by breaking the challenge into easy steps. You start with simple sentences. You focus on saying them clearly. As you feel more comfortable, you move to sentences that are a bit more complex. Each step up feels doable because you've already succeeded at the one before. This slow moving forward is very important. When you feel like it's too much, fear takes over. But when you're moving forward at a speed that feels good, you start to feel in charge. And feeling in charge is a big part of feeling confident. You're not just reacting to the fear. You're actively building a skill that makes the fear less strong. Think about the connection between speaking clearly and feeling in control. When your pronunciation is good and your words come out smoothly, you feel more able to share your thoughts. You're not always worried if the other person is understanding you. This means you use less mental energy on how you're speaking, and you have more energy to focus on what you want to say. The daily speaking practice technique trains your mouth and mind to work together better. It's like a well-oiled machine. The more you practice, the smoother it works. This smooth working leads directly to a feeling of confidence. You're not struggling, you're talking to people. And that's a powerful feeling. It's important to know that real confidence comes from inside you. It's not about waiting for someone to say, "You speak English so well." While nice words are good, true confidence comes from your own inner knowing that you can speak clearly. The daily speaking practice technique helps you build this inner belief. Every time you practice, you are showing yourself that you are getting better. You are building your speaking muscles. You are getting better at making sounds and joining words. This knowing of yourself is the strongest kind of confidence. It doesn't depend on what others think. It's a steady, reliable feeling based on your own constant work and progress. So, how can you change your thinking? It's about changing your focus from "I'm afraid to speak" to "I am practicing to speak better." This small change in how you look at things is powerful. When you go into your practice times knowing that you are building a skill, not doing something perfectly, the pressure goes down. The daily speaking practice technique helps this change because it's all about the doing of practice, not being perfect right away. You're not expected to be perfect from the first day. You are expected to show up to speak and to learn. Each practice time is a step forward, a small win on your journey. Imagine Sarah. Sarah was a smart student who knew many English words. But when it came to speaking, her voice became small. She worried about her accent, which was nice and unique, but she thought it made her sound less smart. She would think about sentences in her head, but when it was time to speak, they would get mixed up. She felt a tight feeling in her stomach every time a conversation started. Sarah found our book and decided to try the daily speaking practice technique. She started with simple sentences from a children's story, reading them out loud slowly. She focused on the sounds, saying words like this and that again and again until they felt natural. At first, it felt a little silly, just reading to herself. But she kept going. After a week, she noticed something. When she read a sentence, she wasn't as worried about if she was saying it right. She was more focused on the rhythm, on how it flowed. She started to feel a little more in control. The next week, she tried reading a paragraph that was a bit longer. She still made mistakes, but she didn't stop. She paused, gently corrected herself, and kept going. This was a big step for Sarah. She wasn't letting the fear stop her anymore. She was practicing. She was building. A month into her daily practice, Sarah was at a small party. Someone asked her a simple question. Usually she would freeze or give a very short answer, but this time she took a breath. She thought about how she had practiced speaking clearly even when it felt hard. She answered the question, and then, to her own surprise, she added a little more information. Her voice was steady. She didn't stumble over her words. She felt a warmth spread through her, a feeling of success. It wasn't a big, important speech, but it was a moment of real connection, made possible because she had practiced building her speaking skill over and over. Her confidence had started to grow, not because she was suddenly perfect, but because she had shown herself that she could speak clearly and well, even with her own special accent. This is the strength of the daily speaking practice technique. It doesn't just teach you how to say words. It teaches you that you can speak. It replaces the quiet doubts with the steady sound of progress. As your ability to say words with accuracy and flow grows through daily practice, you will find your confidence blooming. This new feeling of being sure of yourself isn't just about feeling good. It directly helps you connect with others. The next important step is making sure your message is not only clear, but also interesting and has an effect. Which brings us to conclusion. You have finished Speak English Clearly, your daily practice guide. Great job for starting this important journey to speak English better and more smoothly. We looked at how practicing often and with focus can make your English go from shy to sweet. Now, as we finish, let's remember what we learned and think about how great your clear English will be. Remember, the daily speaking practice technique is not just about talking more. It's about practicing in a smart way. It's about making your mouth muscles strong, learning the music of English, and building the brain paths that help you speak without trying. Like a singer practices songs every day or a runner trains often, your speaking muscles need this regular, careful work. This steady, thoughtful way is the special key that makes your English smooth, clear, and sure. It's the path from knowing English to really living it with your voice. This way works for everyone, no matter how you start. Learning to speak English clearly is a trip, and like any trip, there are good days and hard days. You might have felt stuck, or days when you thought you weren't getting better fast enough. But think of this. Every time you practice, no matter how short or how hard, you are moving ahead. You are building speed, and that is very strong. Those hard times are not walls. They are chances to learn more about how you speak, to find what needs a little more help, and to make your practice better. The good thing about the daily speaking practice technique is that you can keep doing it. By doing a little bit often, you become strong and those hard times feel much easier. This book gave you the things and the ideas you need. Now, the real good stuff happens when you use the daily speaking practice technique every day. Think of this technique like your own English speaking helper, always there for you. As you get better, you can change it, trying harder with longer sentences, new words, or different ways of speaking. Think of the new chances you'll have, the people you'll meet, and how sure you'll feel when you can say what you mean easily and clearly in any place. Practicing this technique every day is not just about making your English better now. It's about helping your future self, making sure you're clear and sure speaking gets stronger each day. Speaking English well, clearly, and with confidence is something you can do using the easy but powerful idea of practicing focusedly every day. You have the power, the tools, and now the method that works. Believe you can do it. So don't wait. Start again or begin right now. Make your daily speaking practice technique a must-do part of your day. Your voice is your power. Let it shine. We hope you have lots of good luck and fun on your English speaking journey.